to do the work of God, what will you say?
First of all, it must be absolutely stressed that anyone wanting to go into the work of God must be absolutely certain he's called of God to do so. There are too many people who are coming into the work of God who are not called of God specifically to leave their work and come into it. When God calls, he will provide. That's his responsibility. And when a man is called to step out by faith, he steps out by faith, looking only to God, and God will provide for him.
Welcome to the moment of truth. You clearly see in Pa Elton's facial expression and body language that he wasn't going to have what Idahosa just told him. Idahosa came to him to boast that he had 172 branches all over and 23 in Benin, and you see his response. The branches, God is not interested in having branches here and there. It is all about money, and you could see how they cause all these troubles in the body of Christ today. Adeboye is boasting that he has 192,000 branches. Is it 1,000 or 100? I don't know. Oyedepo is saying he has 40,000 or 40. It couldn't be 40 branch, 40,000 or so. So he started from Idahosa, and look at his mentor. His mentor only has a branch, and he only pastor up to 800 people. And he was working, he was teaching, lecturing in the school. These ones, no job, nothing. They just want to be collecting. And he said he stopped asking people to pledge since 1980, which is not true. I knew Idahosa up to 1998 when he passed on. He was still asking for money. So where did they get their own doctrine from? Stay tuned.
Inside a denomination, that's totally different. There's got to be built up a system of faith in the members as well as in the leadership. You are right not to stress money in the churches. It's probably one of the greatest curses that's mentioned in the churches today. Church people are against churches because they say they're always taking up money. God is not needing money. He's needing their submission. He's needing their cooperation, their acknowledgement that he is the leader and owner of all they have, and they're acknowledging it. If a man is called, he has the faith to step out, and he should step out trusting God alone.
You just heard that. God does not need any money. He needs submission. So Idahosa was told that 50 years ago. He died 20 years later after Pa Elton lectured him on all these things. That's why he came to lie that he stopped pledging and all that, people from pledging and all that, which is not true. And he continued because he didn't stop. He continued collecting money. Adeboye collecting money. All of them collecting money. The problem we have today in churches is money, money, money. The choirs now, the artists now collecting billions because it started from all these pastors. So where do they get their own doctrine from? So when I told you that these people are not of God, all of you will be calling me names. This happened. Idahosa himself was there 50 years ago. He died. The man died 11 years after. So no, the man died in 1987, I think. Idahosa himself died in 1998. So he knew what he was doing was wrong. And if you see my video that I said he repented before he died, because he said God has forgiven him. God was tolerating his nonsense. So he warned the people coming after him not to do it. But it was too late. Look at all the junks that came from him. You have 172 branches. All the pastors are thieves because that's what they saw you doing. So they have to follow your steps. His wife till today, she's still a thief collecting money. Look at Oyakilome, from him, thief. Suleiman, from him, thief. Everyone that said they came from Idahosa, they are all thieves. Stay tuned, my people. I'm going somewhere.
Church is born the same thing. They step out trusting God to provide for all their needs financially.
While you are answering that, let me just top it with this. What will you say to a young man who wants to start ministry, and because there's no money in Africa or Nigeria, he thinks, and he wants to go and start in America, to go to Bible school there, to get trained and get rich and come back and finally evangelize? What will you advise such a person?
God calls a man in Nigeria, he will train him in Nigeria. I haven't a great deal of faith in training Nigerians abroad. This is our country. This is the country where God needs us, and they cannot be taught some of the things that will be needed in this country if they go to Bible schools in America. What do they know about juju and witchcraft in America? They don't know anything at all about it. But here they've got to meet it. This is the place where God is moving in these days, and I don't advise anyone to go abroad for their studies.
What will you
They heard all that from the man that brought Pentecostalism to Nigeria. They heard all that, so all of them, they have branches abroad, and that's why God is shutting them down one by one. He also heard all that, so he just ignored his mentors. His mentor, and he carried on as usual. He has branches in America. He went there to preach. He goes everywhere. Oyakilome has branches in America. Suleiman has branches in America. Adeboye branches in America. Oyedepo branches in America. Dunamis branches in America. That one is currently still in now. We've done a video about it. And tell me how you will call these people of God, because they know the truth, and they put the truth in the bin, and they choose to do what they wanted to do. Scamming people, destroying Christianity, destroying the work of Calvary. And you telling me that Idahosa is in heaven? Not lie.
think of those who left home and are now afraid to come back because of the financial situation in Nigeria?
God didn't call them, obviously, or if he did, they have failed in the call.
If that is so, whom among the leaders, let's digress from the question of those going to America and so on, among the leaders that are living today or dead, whom can you remember were the offsprings of your training and background in the work of evangelism today? Because I know as I go around the whole country, you've been to many parts of the nations before I was born, and today, how many leaders will you remember God used you to touch their lives?
Oh, the majority of the people who were used by God in 1937 to 1945 in Nigeria to bring revival, none of them went abroad. None of them had.
My people, you just heard the truth from Pa Elton. You see how he digress. He doesn't want to hear the truth. He continued with his journey in America, messing about with Benny Hinn and all that, telling lies, scamming people and everything. This video is playing in heaven, and he's watching it right now. We don't know where he is. And Pa Elton said, if you go to America or abroad to preach, that means God does not call you. You just heard this from the horse's mouth. Part 5. This is part 4. Watch out for part 5. Stay tuned. Bye for now.